Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another episode of News Dose, where I keep you up to date with everything happening in the game industry. And we will be returning back to the regular format after yesterday's lengthy topic of the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 specs. We dove in to see how they compared to one another, so if you missed that, you can go back and check that out. Today though, we have plenty to talk about across the entire industry. We got some Xbox news as some more great Xbox Game Pass games have been announced, and yeah, a new Nintendo Direct may be incoming fast. There have also been some leaks and rumors regarding some major franchises, so you're not going to want to miss that either. First though, I want to talk about a rumor going around that a new Spyro game is in development. Now that is something that I have been expecting anyways, considering in the past, Activision did kind of hint that they would be going in this direction after the Spyro Reignited trilogy was a big success. Activision themselves had this to say back in August of 2019. When you look at our IP library, we think there is a lot of IP in there that the fans are going to want to experience again. I'd say stay tuned for some future announcements, but just beyond pure remasters, there are also a lot of opportunities now to innovate and think about totally new content within these IPs. And there you have it. But the thing is, this quote is talking about both Spyro as well as Crash Bandicoot. After all, both of these remade trilogies sold phenomenally well, so it would make sense to capitalize on that and try to make a brand new game. Now, I've seen some fans kind of want them to remake other games within these franchises, but honestly, I think they should just go out and make a brand new game. I don't think either Spyro or Crash has done well outside of the original trilogy, so I think they should just start fresh. I really am excited for this though, because I do love Crash and Spyro. They're some of my all-time most memorable games, especially Spyro. I mean, I even have a first four-figure statue right next to me as I'm making this video. I remember playing this game as a kid and just absolutely loving it. And yeah, Spyro Reignited was done very well. I personally don't like Spyro's design as much as the original, but when it comes to gameplay, it was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I am hoping that this rumor is true and Spyro will be getting a new game soon. This leak apparently is coming from the Gaming Revolution, which is supposed to be a credible insider, so hopefully it is true. As always though, you do have to take this with a grain of salt, but because Activision has already kind of hinted at it in the past, I'm pretty sure that this will happen at some point. But let me know, would you like to see a new Spyro game or even a new Crash game? Let me know in the comments below. And speaking of big names in gaming, we got another character returning. Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell will be coming back to the Ghost Recon franchise yet again, and yeah, Ubisoft put out a teaser trailer for Ghost Recon Breakpoint's Deep State. This will be story-related DLC releasing on March 24th, I believe that's the date, and this is kind of an odd teaser trailer. Not only do you see Sam Fisher pop up at the end of the trailer, but you also see one of the robots from the Terminator pop up here. I'm curious to see how that works out, but this is just me. I'm not really a big Ghost Recon fan. If you are, I mean, that's great, but I, however, do really like the Splinter Cell franchise. I know Splinter Cell has been in Ghost Recon in the past, but really, I would just like to see Ubisoft make a new Splinter Cell game. It doesn't even have to be a regular game. I mean, for me, I think Splinter Cell could make for a great virtual reality game, and I mean, hey, Half-Life Alyx did it, so why not Splinter Cell? Either way, this DLC might be something to look out for if you are a fan of either franchise. Moving on, Deadly Premonition 2 was rated in Australia, and I'm going to tell you why this could possibly be big news. By this point, everything is indicating we will be getting a new Nintendo Direct by the end of this month, and Deadly Premonition 2 could possibly show up there. I mean, maybe I'm just getting my hopes up, but anytime a game gets rated, more often than not, a release date will follow shortly after. And that's not all either, because Xenoblade Definitive Edition also got a release date on Amazon for May 29th, and it's been rated in various regions as well as listed on the eShop. So yeah, I'm starting to really think that leak for the Nintendo Direct happening on March 26th or the 27th is true. You have to remember that that same leak had a Nintendo Indie World Direct on March 17th, and we talked about that earlier this month, which did happen, so unless it gets delayed, I really think that we will finally get a new Nintendo Direct. I mean, of course it could always get delayed, but I still do have my fingers crossed for some Metroid and Paper Mario news there. Now on to some of the Xbox related stuff, because we got some more great games coming over to Xbox Game Pass for the month of March. Of course, the first wave has been excellent so far with Ori and the Will of Wisps, and truly it is one of the best Metroidvania games ever made, hands down. If you haven't played that game yet, definitely go do so because it truly is amazing. But with that said, Wave 2 for March is looking pretty solid as well. For console, Xbox Game Pass will be getting Bleeding Edge, you have Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, The Surge 2, Kona, and Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. The PC version won't be getting Ace Combat or Kona, but instead will be getting Astro Legaster. Really though, I think the console version of Game Pass is the one that excels here so much though in the second half of March, because Ace Combat 7, that's a really good game. That is something that you should definitely go check out if you're an Aviator fan or if you like aerial combat. It truly excels at this, and it just released last year. This is a pretty new game. The Surge 2 is the one that I'm wanting to go check out though, because I haven't got to yet. It's another game that released last year, and I've heard people say it's kind of like a futuristic Dark Souls. I don't know how true that is, but I do think it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a pretty game, and this is why I love Xbox Game Pass so much. It does allow me to play games that I've missed for whatever reason. And of course, we can't forget Bleeding Edge, which will be Ninja Theory's first game as a Xbox first-party studio. I know it may not be what a lot of people expected from Ninja Theory, but it is a fun game. I've played it for myself in the beta, and if you're into Overwatch at all, you will get the hang of Bleeding Edge pretty quick. There are no games here as good as maybe Ori and the Will of Wisps, but that's a pretty tough fact to follow, and I do think that there is some really good games here to check out in the second half of March. Overall, I think the entire month was really good. And by the way, speaking of Overwatch before, the new Overwatch hero Echo has officially been announced, and this is a character we've known about for a while now. In fact, Echo was first introduced to Overwatch in the Ashe reveal way back at BlizzCon in 2018. I think from that point forward, we all kind of knew that Echo would show up in the full game at some point, but for me, I wasn't really sure if it would be before or after Overwatch 2 released. Either way, something that really surprised me here though is that Echo is a DPS character. I always thought that she would be a support type character, but instead, she is a projectile-based DPS, and she has some pretty insane abilities. While her primary fire looks kind of basic, she does have an ability to fly for a short period of time that kind of reminds me of a mix between Pharah and Mercy. Then another ability that shoots a beam, which is practically a finisher that will increase in damage if your enemy is at or below 50% health. It absolutely obliterates your opponent or even their shield. Really though, her ultimate sounds absolutely broken though. See, Echo has this ability to duplicate herself to whatever enemy she chooses to be. So if she wants to duplicate the enemy Tracer, she can do that. If she wants to become Genji, Pharah, Rain, or so on and so forth, well, she can absolutely do that. The catch though is that she can only stay that way for 15 seconds, but she, however, can build ultimates insanely fast, and if you're good enough, you may even be able to get like 2 or 3 ultimates in one go if you can do it correctly. Now, Jeff Kaplan said they may have to tone this ultimate back, so it being in PTR right now, it may not stay this way for long, but I will say this, Echo looks like a lot of fun, and it might be a good reason to go back and play Overwatch once again. I admit Overwatch is my favorite game of the entire generation, but I haven't really played it in a long time as I've really been trying to go through my backlog for a while now. Blizzard does a great job in making fun characters though, and Echo once again seems to fit the bill. She is available in PTR right now. I haven't got to try her out myself, but if you do want to go check her out, go download the PTR on PC. I don't think this is on consoles yet. I might be wrong on that. But go check it out on PTR if you want to go check out Echo right now. Now, the last thing I want to talk about real quick is a Call of Duty reboot has been leaked by the Gaming Revolution, which apparently has a good track record on this type of stuff. He says that Call of Duty Black Ops will be rebooted in a similar way to how Modern Warfare was. I don't think that's too surprising, to be completely honest. Modern Warfare and Black Ops have really been two of the best Call of Duty franchises, so Treyarch going back to give Black Ops a fresh start could turn out really well. Now, he is saying this will be a much more gory game than what we're used to seeing in Call of Duty games, so that's something to keep in mind. If you're a little touchy with, some of the more gory stuff, like interrogation and stuff, you might not be into this, but if you are, this is, it does seem to be that type of game. And even goes so far as to say that they do have zombies once again, but they will be portrayed differently and more realistically, rather than your typical fantasy zombies. I'm not really entirely sure what that means, but I mean, it sounds interesting. It's quite a different route than what we're used to seeing from the Call of Duty franchise. And hey, he even said it will come with free DLC. So, I mean, it sounds really good on paper. So now we just need to see it and see what happens. Of course, though, with any kind of leak, you need to take this with a grain of salt. But if it's true, you should expect this to release in late 2020, barring any kind of delays. Anyways, though, that's it for this episode. But if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Peace out.